that close on the week before that they're going to get some style points, and it just didn't happen. Rudy Carpenter joins us now on the Right to the Guest line here on Fox Sports 910. Almost the upset of the year on Saturday night there in Seattle, huh, Rudy, for the Devils?
Yeah, I mean, it was just I think what Kenny Dillingham has, been talking about the last few weeks has probably been correct, right? I mean, you got ASU, in so many different ways, just basically finding different ways to lose football games. I think that, we all knew this team probably wasn't going to, go be bowl eligible or compete for a Pac-12 championship. But, with that being said, I do think that from a fan standpoint or an alum standpoint, when you're watching the team play, you can at least say that, this team is being coached. They're being coached hard. And then on top of that, it looks like they're still competing and playing for their coaching staff. And if they can figure out a way to get this offense on track, then I think they'll have a chance to win some games. It's just so difficult to win games when you're hurt, especially when almost all of your offensive line's backups are hurt.
And I think, Rudy, one of the things that we watch is how aggressive and attacking the defense was to force the issue with the fumble and the interceptions off of Pennis Jr. Was really encouraging, at least from that standpoint, that they're building with that defense. Offense, obviously, with Scatterboot, doing his thing and some of the play calling, at times I thought was pretty good. But, I mean, the encouragement from the defensive side is what I was impressed with the most.
Yeah, without a doubt, the defense played really good against one of the best offenses in the country. I think one of the best offensive coaches in the country, and Coach Grubb and Kalen DeBoer, those guys have done a great job everywhere that they've been. Very, very good offense. Mike Penix Jr. probably, most people thought the leading candidate for the Heisman Trophy so far at the midway point of the season. And they have a lot of playmakers. So the fact that defense was able to really shut them down and stop them like they did on defense, I think says a lot about ASU's defense and how they're being coached and how that group is playing. As far as the offensive side goes, I mean, look, you can talk about play calling, you can talk about guys being hurt. There's a million things you can talk about. At the end of the day, it's really hard to call offensive football plays when you just don't have the horses.
Sure.
And right now, ASU just doesn't have the horses.
And you got to take advantage of the field goal opportunities too. And I think that kind of weighed into Kenny's decision there on those fourth downs down inside the red zone, that his guy misses 2 field goals. And, if you make those and get one more, you got 9 points to barter with. And at that point, you force the Huskies to have to go down the length of the field and get a touchdown, which seemed to be very, very difficult for them.
Yeah, and that's what I said, earlier. Obviously, you need your kicker to make kicks. And when your kicker's missing kicks like that, you lose confidence, and you lose confidence quickly. I think you also lose confidence when, the guys that are up front protecting just, aren't healthy, and you're on your second and third guys, that are obviously trying to field goal protect. It's very difficult. And I think sometimes when you're the play caller and or the head coach and you lose confidence in your kicker, sometimes you just think, look, I think I got a better chance leaving my offense out here on the field.
Rudy Carpenter here on Fox Sports 910. Let's switch up and talk some Arizona Cardinal football, as the Cardinals only get 3 points off of 3 turnovers. They rush over 100-plus yards. Normally, if you look at a box score and you see that, you're going to see a W. That was definitely not the case. Do you feel that this team is making any strides at all, or are they just going to continue going down this path that they're going to continue losing lots of games?
Yeah, to me, I just think it's very similar to ASU. It's like they just don't have the horses. They don't have the horses on the offense of the ball. They don't have the horses on the defensive side of the ball. Plus, they've been dealing with injuries. They don't have their franchise quarterback that's playing. I mean, there's all kinds of issues with this football team. And then in my experience, sometimes on a football team, these things start to snowball. Guys start dropping the football. Guys start missing assignments on defense, and it just goes and goes and goes and goes. And right now, I think that's where this, Arizona Cardinal football team is. I commend Josh Dobbs for the job that he's doing. But at the end of the day, he's just not the kind of guy that's going to be able to come in, put a team on his back, and go win a football game for you.
Rudy, I'm real curious now where you are on the Kyler Murray scenario. There's an awful lot of conversation nationally about Kyler, and should they play him? Should they not play him? Where are you on all of this right now?
Well, I think that's a difficult question. I mean, I think if you're Kyler Murray, you want to play, right? You're a competitor. You want to play. You want to get out there. You want to test your knee. You want to get on the field. You want to get some confidence back. I understand all that stuff. For me, I just know that professional sports is a business, and I know business is all about money. And you got a lot of money tied up in Kyler Murray now and over the next couple of years. And I think you got to ask yourself, does it make sense to risk him and put him on the field and allow him to go out there and play in really what is probably a meaningless rest of the season? This team is not a contender to make the playoffs. I don't think even with Kyler, they're a contender to make the playoffs. So do you want to have him go out there and put himself in a position where he's trying to rush himself back and not be all the way healthy? Or does it make more sense just to shut him down, let him keep rehabilitating, slow the rehabilitation process down, let him get, mentally stronger, physically stronger, and come back next year during OTAs and training camp and see, if they can do something different. Again, like I said, I think if you're Kyler, you're a competitor and you want to play. But again, you got people who make a lot more money than me who are going to have to make these decisions, and they're going to have to figure out a way, on how they're going to protect their investment in a multi-$100 million player.
And I think, Rudy, with that point being said, he's got 14 more days or 2 more games for them to go ahead and activate him and get him ready to go. So obviously get the Ravens in that Cleveland next week. And then if they don't activate him, they got to put him on the IR. And at that point, you only got, 4 games left in the season. Game, set, match. And to your point, at that point, I would think they don't. But I think they've got a decision, to your point, the next 2 weeks to react to at least get him going, or he goes back on the IR for another 4 games.
To me, it's just difficult. You got a Ravens team that's playing really good right now. They beat a really good Lions team over the weekend. They have a great pass rush. You want to put Kyler in there? Don't think so. Cleveland Browns, probably the best defensive player in the game right now. Miles Garrett and Matt Patrick, you want to put him there in that prediction? I don't really know. Especially for a season, in my opinion, gone at this point. The playoffs. So.
Yeah, we're having. Hey, Rudy, excuse me, Ray. You're breaking up a little bit right here. Sorry, we didn't hear what you just said. If you want, we could reset. I don't think we only got about a minute left.